Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and I'm Jo, and today's card of the day is the Devil in the Reversed. And most people see the Devil card when it comes up upright and think of fear, addictions, toxic relationships, being trapped, our attachments. And yes, all of these meanings are there, but if you look closer at the card and its imagery, and you really look, you can see that the chains around these figures' necks aren't actually tight. They're loose enough to just slip off, which raises the fascinating question, like, what if the prison door was never actually locked? What if the thing that's keeping us trapped isn't the chains itself, but the belief that we're chained? And this is where the Devil reversed becomes incredibly powerful, because reversed, the card doesn't simply say freedom. It reveals the shocking truth that the chains were always removable. You know, it's almost like they slip off when you're upside down. And it's often in a moment when the illusion begins to crack, where suddenly you see the pattern, the relationship, the addiction, the fear, the old story, the limiting belief. And for the first time you realize, like, wait, I don't have to actually keep doing this. The card kind of represents this awakening from these unconscious agreements. The agreements you made with fear, the agreements that you've made with scarcity, the agreements that you've made with old wounds. And these agreements once protected you, but now they can tend to keep you small. They're outdated. And the Devil in the Reverse asks, what are you still serving that's no longer serving you? Because the greatest trick of the Devil isn't creating these chains. It's convincing you that they're permanent. It's convincing you that you have no choice. It's convincing you that the cage and these chains are even real, when in reality the door has been standing wide open the entire time. And that's the deeper lesson here. The cage was built from an identification, that I am this, I have to be this, this is who I am, this is who my family is. But the moment awareness enters, the bars begin to dissolve. The moment you see the pattern, you are no longer completely inside the pattern. You have one foot out this door. And that's why the Devil Reverse can actually feel quite uncomfortable. Because freedom sounds wonderful until it arrives. Because freedom comes with responsibility. Once you realize the chains are loose, you can no longer pretend that you're powerless anymore. And that can be terrifying. The Devil Reverse is this card of reclaiming our power, the power we have in every moment, the power of choice. And the moment when the victimhood we've been living in begins to crack, the moment when these excuses begin to lose their grip, the moment when you stop asking, why is this happening to me, and start asking, why am I choosing this? That can be scary. And that can also be, there can be a lot of grief in that as well, because we can sometimes tend to blame our past selves for making these choices. But this isn't about blame, and it's really important to approach this from a place of empowerment. So what you know now today is what's important. And now you know you have a choice, and that is where your empowerment lies. And there's an even deeper layer to this card, which I unearthed today while digging deeper. And the Devil Reverse isn't about becoming someone new. You know, what if it's about remembering who you were before the chains were even placed around your neck? We spend so much of our lives trying to improve ourselves, to fix ourselves, to transform ourselves, to become a better version of ourselves. But the Devil Reversed whispers something entirely different. Like maybe you don't need to become anything. Maybe you simply need to release what you are not. The fear that isn't yours, the conditioning that isn't yours, the expectations that aren't yours, the masks that were created to survive, the identities that were built around wounds, the stories that become so familiar that they start to feel like truth. And perhaps that is why this card kind of appearing upside down kind of is there to give you a difference in perspective. You know, flipping your perspective upside down. What you thought was you was never really you at all. The Devil reversed is not always transformation, but maybe rather revelation, a remembering, a homecoming, an uncovering of what was there before the fear, before the conditioning, before the performance. And in that sense, liberation is not about becoming. It is an unbecoming, a peeling away, a shedding, a returning to the self that existed before all the noise. And perhaps that is the greatest secret hidden inside the Devil reversed. For me, it really is. The chains aren't falling away because you're finally becoming worthy of freedom. The chains are falling away because they were never truly a part of you. They were only resting on top of who you are. And now you can finally let them slip away because the key was never outside of you. The door was never locked. And the chains, they were already loose. So let me know. Let me know if this resonated in the comments. Like and subscribe if you are enjoying my readings. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful day.